Everybody, it is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Welcome to another episode of the He Said, She Said Sports Talk Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Big Red, along with Tony. What's good, Tony? How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. It's been a long week.
Okay, yeah, no, I definitely know it's been a long week for you. I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, I'm sure I'll let you talk about that here in a little bit, but let's talk about some college football. A lot of big games that were played that could determine how the playoff seedings are going to happen, how the playoff committee is going to look at some of these teams. First game I want to talk about is the Georgia Clemson game. Obviously, Georgia Tech pulled off the upset, 21, 24-21, with a 55-yard game-winning field goal from their kicker. How did you feel about that game, and how do you feel about Clemson now that they are 0-2?
Yeah, I mean, look, Clemson got swarmed, and to be totally honest with you, it seems like Georgia Tech might win the ACC. They have a relatively good schedule ahead of them, and
Yeah,
they could certainly take the ACC, but
they definitely could. You're right.
Clemson, the defense on paper, when you looked at it heading into the season, looked like it could be one of the best defenses in the country, and
Hmm.
it's been anything but. I mean, Georgia Tech racked up 358 total yards and went 8 of 15 on third downs. And we know how important third down is in a football game. I mean,
Yes.
the Tigers, their defense hasn't been bad. It just it hasn't been good.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it definitely hasn't been good. Like I said, they let teams get out on a fast start on them. And I didn't mean to say they were 0-2. They did win a game against Troy, which Troy did get out on to a 16-0 lead on them too. They let teams get out on a fast start, which Georgia Tech did as well, going up 13-0. Cade Klubnik had a couple of turnovers, which ended up being kind of costly. But yeah, no, the defense is definitely not playing up to their standards, like you mentioned. They look great on paper, but definitely not doing what they're supposed to. Clemson did drop out of the rankings, so it's going to be a tall climb for them to get back into the playoff picture for sure. Let's touch on another game from Saturday, last Saturday. Notre Dame, Texas A&M was a firecracker of a game. It was a lot of action, a lot of offensive plays, not a lot of defense, really. I mean, there were a few turnovers here and there, but Texas A&M ended up getting the win in a close win, 41-40. Notre Dame at the end of the game, their holder misbobbled the extra point attempt, which was the reason why they didn't able to get 41, and Texas A&M went down on the last drive and scored and kicked the game-winning extra point. So, how do you feel about Notre Dame's chances now with losing a few big games early in the year?
Yeah, I mean, look, those are the Irish's only two preseason ranked opponents. Um, it looks like a long climb for Notre Dame to even possibly be considered for this college football playoff, but I mean, it's an absolutely outside chance. I would pretty much say they're out of it. They'd have to run the table and run the table big. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
and they have to correct a lot of the defensive issues that they seem to be facing.
and now not having the conference championship is going to come into play for them as well. People kind of thought it was an advantage, but not having that is definitely going to be a disadvantage for them, being that they lost these games against these ranked teams for sure. Um, I do think their offense does have a little bit of firepower. It's just their defense doesn't on the front end. The back end is cool. Um, Moore played well out there. He had a pick out there. He played well, but yeah, the front seven has definitely got to get a lot better, in my opinion. Let's talk about the Georgia Tennessee game. Obviously, Georgia won that game, close game as well, 44-41. What was your take on that game? And how do you feel about Tennessee's chances after losing that game?
I mean, look. first and foremost, I mean, the poor kid with the field goal. The older I get, the younger these players look, and the fear of God on that kicker's face as he walked out there, knowing that this was Tennessee's chance to beat
Hmm.
Georgia for the first time in a decade.
Yeah.
You could just see I knew that that kick was not going through from the second he walked out onto that field.
Just
And
didn't have the confidence.
yeah, he just did not have the confidence to do that. There was way too much pressure on him in that moment that he did not live up to. Tennessee cannot seem to find a way to beat Georgia. I don't necessarily think this is telling me that they have no chance in the SEC. I think this is telling me that they can't beat Georgia, which is
Hmm.
something that we've known to be a fact. So
Yeah.
it's not anything out of the ordinary. I still think Georgia's the better team, but Tennessee really can give them a run for their money, and they can beat them with this team
Yeah.
we have here. Um, so look, if anything, I'm feeling more confident about Tennessee
Yeah. Based off how they played,
based on
yeah,
how they played.
definitely.
So I know that seems weird to say, um, but
They're
I
not out of it.
feel more confident. I also think Georgia looked better than I had expected. Gunnar Stockton took a huge leap forward in this game. He made real strides in his passing game. He pushed the ball down the field
Mhm.
and he converted on some big time throws that we have not seen him do when it was
Yeah,
needed
which was,
most.
people been waiting for, Georgia fans have been waiting to see
So
that too.
it does seem like he came into his own. I
Hmm.
I had Tennessee in the upset. That obviously didn't happen, but I think both of these teams make a really strong case for the SEC title. We'll talk about another team that I think has a better chance at the SEC title, I'm sure. But two really, really strong contenders in the SEC. And I think SEC dominance is back.
Okay. I got you. Okay, big statement from Tony right there. SEC dominance is back. But let's speak of another SEC matchup though that nobody expected to go this way. Vanderbilt beat South Carolina 31-7. Um, Lenore Sellers was a lot of people's Heisman guy to start off the year. South Carolina seemed to be looking promising to start off the year, obviously, but bad loss to Vandy. How did you feel about that game? And what do you think about Vandy's chances? Because their quarterback, Diego Pavier's, he had a lot of stuff he was talking about in the offseason and all that. He seems to be backing it up so far. I know they
Yeah.
haven't got into the I know they haven't got into the crunch of the SEC yet, but still a lot more games, but big win for them over South Carolina.
I would not say anything necessarily about Vanderbilt until I've seen them play some more SEC teams because I mean we say it all the time, any given Sunday, any given Saturday, right, for college football.
Yeah.
Any
Hmm.
given week, things can just go completely sideways. Um, if you're not the best team
Yeah.
in the SEC and South Carolina's not the best team in the SEC, Vanderbilt's not the best team in the SEC. So things can certainly go sideways. I was very shocked to see it go that sideways. I'm very, very curious now that they're 3-0 and 1-0 in the SEC to see Vanderbilt take on some of these bigger dogs in the SEC.
Yeah, to see how they match up. They beat Bama last year, obviously, things like that. So interested to see.
They
I'm
always seem
definitely
to pull
interested.
one of these out. That's the thing, right? One of these
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
wins.
And
So,
then they'll lose games you expect them to win. That's usually how Vandy does.
yeah.
So we definitely got to see a little bit more from them for sure. Couple more takes on this past week. What was your take on Arch Manning? Obviously they won against UTEP 27-10. A lot of Texas fans felt like the score should have been a little bit more spread out apart, but final score is 27-10. What was your take on Arch?
Yeah, I mean, UTEP never really threatened Texas, but the failure to pull away from inferior competition
Yeah.
is really telling, and I do feel like that had a lot to do with ineffectiveness from Arch Manning. Uh,
Hmm.
he was 5 for 16 for 69 yards and an interception at halftime.
Yeah.
And
Pretty bad.
they were leading 14-3, but I mean that's not. And then, his final stat line, not much better. 11 of 25, 114 yards, one touchdown, one interception. I mean, maybe it's just taking him more time than we thought to get acclimated, and it's a good thing that they have some of these very light games to start out the season. I mean, other than week
I
one.
think they start out the SEC next week. I'm not sure, but
No, no, no. They
week
play
after.
Sam Houston
Sam
State.
Houston. Okay, it's the week
Oh.
after. Okay, yeah.
So they have one more week before really getting into SEC play. Obviously, week one was probably too much for him, and either that really shook the confidence, or he just needs more time to build, and he's not going to be an electric superstar right away. Um,
Yeah.
which
Or
is
maybe at all
okay.
for, you know,
It's okay. He may end up proving to be a boom or a bust. We're yet to see. But
yes.
if it takes time for him to boom, I just think people were expecting him to be something right away that maybe he
Yeah.
wasn't ready to be right away.
And yeah, no, you make a great point on that because, I felt like he needed time. I felt like he needed, like, Quinn Ewers staying that extra year hurt Arch Manning, in my opinion. I felt like last year was supposed to be his year to start and play, and like you said, not having that time and or experience. Like I said, he had a couple games against garbage teams, but it just wasn't enough experience. And to have those expectations for somebody who already set 2 years, just it's more so because of the name, which, he didn't ask for those expectations, but, unfortunately they're there. So I am rooting for Arch. I do think it's going to take time. Um, I think he's going to be fine. I think Steve Sarkisian's going to have to still work with him. But they're going to have to work pretty fast, like you said, because the SEC schedule's coming up. But yeah, no, he's not going to be what everybody thinks they is. I think Texas fans know that now, so they're just going to have to take their time with him and, see what turns out for sure. And also another one I wanted to ask you about was LSU Florida. Obviously, a lot of people had LSU on upset alert, but they ended up winning 20-10. Still feeling good about LSU.
I am still feeling good about LSU. I you know what? To be put on upset alert at home is crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
never doubted them, not for a second. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, they look to me like the most poised and the most complete team that I've ever,
Yeah.
that I've seen this season. Ohio State looks really good too. I will give them that. But I do
Hmm.
think LSU they being the way that they're being carried right now, like the way that they're carrying themselves right now, all of
Yeah.
them, but especially Garrett Nussmeier, they just have they seem to be very mission oriented,
Hmm.
and I'm excited to get to see that.
Yeah, no, no, definitely for sure. Same. I like Garrett Nussmeier. LSU was my pick for that to win the SEC. I'm still feeling confident about it. A couple other conferences, my pick, I'm not too sure about, but LSU is still holding me down. Definitely. Real quickly, too. Also, new top 25. Um, South Carolina, Clemson dropped out. South Florida dropped out as well. But just a quick view of the top 10. You got the Buckeyes 1, Penn State 2, LSU 3, Miami 4, Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Florida State 7, Texas 8, Indiana 9, and Texas A&M up to 10, with Oklahoma at 11, and a couple of notables, Bama 14, And yeah, so that seems pretty good to you. Florida State jumped up there pretty high. They're moving on up, seems like. But what's your take on just a quick view of the top 25?
Yeah, I mean, one, two, and three seems pretty accurate to me,
Yeah.
based
Penn
on
State,
games played
LSU,
so
yeah.
far. Yeah. Um,
Miami, Carson Beck. What you think of them? Think Beck he's like a dark horse for the Heisman now too. So
well, the Heisman, I guess, is more wide open than anybody thought because everybody had Arch Manning sitting there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, it'll come down to a couple of different things, but
you got a sleeper right now for the Heisman? Want a quick Tony sleeper for the Heisman right now?
I don't
No,
have a sleeper for the Heisman
no.
right
All
now.
right.
No.
We'll ask you here in a few weeks then.
Yeah, give it like one or two more weeks. I feel like some teams haven't really played anybody major yet, so I think it would be I think it'd be too early.
Okay, well, let's talk about a couple games real quick from next week. Who's a sleeper Heisman? John Mateer, Oklahoma will play number 22 Auburn. Jackson Darnold actually used to play with Oklahoma. He transferred from there to Auburn, so he'll be playing his old school. It's at Oklahoma, 3:30 p.m. That to me is the top game of next week. What about you? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the one that I'm most interested to watch. Like you said, John Mateer, definitely on the list of Heisman potential candidates. Um, very curious to see how he plays in an SEC contest.
Yes.
Ranked opponent. It's a home game for Oklahoma. I would definitely give the edge to them. I think they're the better team and they're playing at home. So
Mm-hmm.
certainly a lot of advantages there, but I'm excited to see Mateer play in a big time SEC football game.
Yeah, no doubt, definitely. And then one last one from next week. We got Miami, Florida going to Miami. Florida's 1-2, Miami's 3-0, ranked number 4.
Mhm.
Do you think Florida can pull this off and kind of save their season?
Yeah, I mean it's certainly another upset watch. Whenever Miami and Florida play, it's always a good game. Um, there's always a lot of tension in the week leading up, drama, things like that. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, Miami's 3-0 right now. They seem like they have got it all put together, but if they get upset by Florida, how does that shake up their season? And for Florida to get back to 500, could be pull them back into the top 25.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, for sure. Well, yeah, we'll be looking forward to them game next week, definitely. Let's get into a little bit of WNBA. It's a lot going on. We got the playoffs going on. There were some game ones played a couple days ago. What was that, Sunday?
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, Sunday. You had the Lynx beat the Valkyrie, and you had the Dream beat the Fever in game one. You had the Liberty beat the Mercury, and the Aces beat the Storm big. What is your take on the playoffs, and who do you how do you like game one so far, and who do you have winning?
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with the Aces. They've extended their winning streak now to 17 games, and
Crazy.
that game was absolute proof of how they can sustain it. They're at an all-time high in confidence. They're the healthiest and the deepest team that they've been all season. Um,
Hmm.
Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, their usual selves, combined for
Yeah,
47 points. Um, they have been the stars of this winning streak, and all of the players around them are excelling as well. We talked about it in the beginning of the year that Jewel Lloyd addition didn't seem to be clicking.
looking, yeah,
It's all clicking now, and it
yeah.
has been for the last 17 straight games. So,
Hmm.
I mean, look, this is a Vegas team that seems to be on an absolute tear, and a winning streak that has Becky Hammon on watch for Coach of the Year and may
Definitely.
upset Natalie Nasaki for it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Nalissa Smith has been playing good for the Aces too. She's been playing good D for them as well. They are definitely rolling and dangerous as well. What about between the Atlanta Dream and Indiana Fever? I know they don't have Caitlin and all that right now, but how do you feel about that series?
Yeah, look, last year they got swept in the first round of the playoffs, so the Fever have been winless in the postseason since 2016. I would love to see them get a win, but they are just
Hmm.
dealing with so much adversity, so much injury. There's more players that are in, there's too many players that are injured that they can't all fit on the bench, uh,
Yeah,
which is just absurd. And it really does look to the question of in the coming years as we add expansion teams to this league, they're playing more and more games in the same amount of time. Something needs to be done because these players, there's stretches of 16 days where they're playing 8 games.
yeah,
Playing a game every other day. When are you practicing? When are you rehabbing? When are you making sure you're getting healthy? Like, it's a loaded conversation, but it needs to come up right when these CBA negotiations get done. Like,
yeah, 100%.
more time during the season to rest, recover, practice, grow as a team. You're seeing teams not click until midway through the year because they don't have a lot of time to practice. So
Hmm.
I think the Fever are a really great example of that. Like they're a good enough team to get into the playoffs when they were healthy, but I mean it's been all downhill from there and they're so shorthanded right now. I can't see them pulling out a win in this series.
Yeah, I feel the same way for real. I just feel like they're kind of depleted right now. I definitely got Atlanta winning that series. What about the Liberty and the Mercury? I know Liberty took game one. Do you think they have a chance to deal with the firepower of the Liberty and possibly win the series?
Yeah.
Or maybe even take the next game. Do you think they'll take the next game?
Uh, I think the Liberty will pull it out here. I mean, the Mercury are facing elimination tomorrow. By the time this
Mhm.
podcast comes out, it'll be today. So,
Yeah.
um, I think I mean, look, New York is they're playing really well on defense, the Mercury. They've held New York to 42% shooting, forcing 20 turnovers. They just can't score enough to beat the Liberty. So
Yeah.
defense, good. Offense, bad. Hasn't been enough. The biggest question is going to be Brianna Stewart. And is she healthy? Can she go?
Yeah, I've seen that she get injured now. What was the deal on her injury? Was it real serious or because I didn't get any intake? I did see that she did get injured though.
It's a knee injury. We're not getting a lot more information about it than that.
Yeah,
Um, so they're
just day
they're
to
they're
day with
pretty
it. Well,
close to the
hopefully she
vest
can.
when it comes
That's my girl too. She a dog.
they're
Hopefully
pretty
she
close to the
can.
vest when it comes to Stewie and injuries. So there's not much that we know right now, but it's a knee
Hmm.
injury.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Now, what about the Valkyries? I know they've had a decent year. They've been surprising new franchise. Um, do you
Yeah.
think they can outlast the Lynx? You know, the Lynx have been the top dog all year, you know, as far as having the best record. Obviously, Nafisa being the top MVP candidate. Do the Valkyries stand a chance? I know they lost game one big, but yeah, do they stand a chance in the series? Can they pull something off?
No. No. Short answer, no. The Minnesota Lynx are absurd. Um, I do think that they may get a win when they come back to the Bay Area, and play in San Jose, but I think it's all Lynx after that.
Yeah, it started lagging big time.
Yeah, I got that. Um,
I know where we broke off though. I can go back in asking you about the links in the
I
Valkyrie.
would
That's
just start straight from the links. That way you can like clipping it's easier. I would just like start from the beginning of the links Valkyrie's conversation.
yeah. You good? You ready? Okay. All right. What do you feel about the Valkyrie? They're a young team in the league, obviously. Good players. They had a decent season. Do you think they stand a chance against the mighty Lynx of Minnesota and Nafisa and them girls?
No. Like the short answer is no. I don't think they can beat the Lynx. The Lynx look like to me they're on track to win the whole thing here. They've been the best team in the league the whole year.
Yeah.
So, I do think that they can get a win when they go back for their home game. So they're 0-1 in the series right now, but they do play um in San Jose for
Hmm.
a home game for the Valkyries. I would love to see them get a win there in front of their home crowd just to kind of top off the season. But then
Yeah.
then I think it's downhill after that. And the Lynx will just kind of run away with it. But I would like to see them get one win. It's kind of
Yeah.
wishful thinking because the Lynx are just so dominant, but I would like to see them get a win.
Yeah, me too. I would like to see them get a win too. They're a good young team, definitely. You kind of like to see these series go to distance a little bit for sure. So I'm definitely looking for them to get a win. Let's talk about the awards.
Before we get
Uh,
to the awards, who do you have winning the whole thing? You got the Lynx as well?
no, I got the Aces. I got the Aces
Okay.
winning the whole thing. I do hope we see that matchup, but yeah, I got the. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that matchup, but I got the Aces winning it all for sure. But no, definitely. Let's talk about the awards. I'm going to let you speak on it. There's been a few of them that's been given out, and there's a huge schedule list of awards that'll be happening for the WNBA over the next week. So, can you kind of explain to us what's going on, and also just let us know about the awards that's been given out as well?
Yeah, I mean, we can start with Paige Becker's Rookie of the Year. We all
Yes,
saw it coming. We all knew it was going to happen. It was
yes.
very cute. The WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, came and surprised her before she went out on stage for the Jennifer Hudson show. So if you've seen the TikTok videos of the J Hud show leading up to the person's interview, they kind of do this like walk this tunnel where they clap and they have a little song and dance that they come up with. And so Paige was
Hmm.
doing her tunnel walk, and Kamish came out with the Rookie of the Year award and handed
That's
it to
dope.
her right before she went out on stage. Super, super cool moment. It was almost undisputed. I think there were one or two votes for Sonia Citron, who had a great season as well, but it's pretty unanimously Paige Becker's. So,
Yeah, no, definitely. Sony Central did have a great year as well. Broke some records over there with the Mystic as far as points goes. But no, definitely Paige Beckers, like I said, she's one of those generational talents
yeah.
you speak of.
She had
But
a
no,
44-point game against the Sparks on August 20th, set a WNBA single game rookie record. She averaged just shy of 20 points a game, 19.2 points a game, 5.5 assists, 4 rebounds. I mean, she led rookies in total points, points per game, assists per game, and was the only WNBA player this season who finished ranked in the top 10 in points, assists, and steals per game. And that's WNBA player, not rookie. So,
hmm.
despite the Wings going 10-30 and missing the playoffs, uh,
Yeah,
they will be in the
bright,
draft lottery again next year. So, um,
bright future for them though, for sure. You can't
so they've got future coming, and they've traded away and gotten some draft picks out of it. But Paige Beckers continues to shine despite the struggles in Dallas.
definitely shout out to her for sure again. Okay, Paige Beckers.
And then to break
Now how?
down some of those awards, so the way that the WNBA award schedule works is for about a week or so, we get a new award reveal every day, and then they kind of start to get a little bit more spaced out. So on Monday, we got the Most Improved Player award, which was Veronica Burton, who is a Valkyrie this year.
Shout
She was
out to
cut
her.
from her team last year, picked up by another team, traded to the Valkyrie. Um, she's had quite the road, but an impressive year from her and the Valkyries. So, congratulations to her. Today,
Yes, definitely.
Tuesday,
Congrats to
September
her.
16th, Rookie of the Year. Obviously, we just talked about it, Paige Beckers. Tomorrow is a big one. We will get the Coach of the Year award. And now, the whole year, as the Valkyries are having this sensational year, now they've made the playoffs. You've got to think that the coach of the year is going to be Natalie Nakase, right? The head coach for the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
However, the Aces have won 17 straight. How are you telling me that it shouldn't go
Mm.
to Becky Hammon?
Yeah.
And the
Good
Minnesota
point.
Lynx have never dropped from number one. Cheryl Reeve, incredible coach as well. So I would say those are the top three candidates. I would love to see it go to Natalie, just because of the season that the Valkyries have had and how, record breaking this season has been for an expansion team and
Yeah.
leading up to all of these new expansion teams that are coming into play over the next couple of years. That can be really
Hmm.
motivational for them. But I could absolutely also
100%.
seeing it going to either of the other two women. So that's a big
Yeah.
one.
No,
Uh,
no, definitely.
and then Thursday, we'll get the Defensive Player of the Year. Friday, they will announce the five finalists for MVP. Saturday, Sixth Man of the Year, who I think it should go to Natasha Heidemann, who's on the Lynx, one of the stud buds. I
Uh-huh.
think she's a prime candidate for that sixth Player of the Year. And then
Shout out to her.
Sunday, September 21st, we will get the Most Valuable Player Award, the MVP. That's the big one. That's on Sunday. And
Hmm.
then we will get some periodic awards over the course of the next couple of weeks, ending with the All NBA first and second team reveals on October 7th. So,
All right. Now that's a now I kind of me personally, I kind of like how they do the awards because it kind of gives everybody their own shine, and it's not like all during one show and just spit out real quickly like the NBA does, So I kind of like how they do that, and it kind of makes things, gives people more shine on their awards and like they have their day. So
yeah,
shout
I,
out to
I
the
like
W.
it this way. You get to talk about one person for the whole day and how exciting that
Hmm.
is. And this whole week of most improved, rookie, coach, defensive, six man, MVP. That's like such a fun week. And you're filled every day with content. And then we
Hmm.
get like we'll get the Sportsmanship Award, the Executive of the Year, the All Rookie Team, All Defensive, all WNBA. Those all come up in the next couple of weeks until we get to the first week of October. So a lot of fun. I really like the way that they do it.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the way they do it too. Shout out to the WNBA, growing league. Obviously, it's going to be more new things to come. Uh, Shout out to them definitely. But with that being said, you guys, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to the He Says She Says Sports Talk podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Big Red. This is Tony. We appreciate you guys, and as always, it is love and peace.